My name is Dan Kaniewski, and I'm the Deputy Administrator for Resilience at FEMA, and I'm currently the agency's second-ranking official. On behalf of FEMA Acting Administrator Pete Gaynor, I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today about our agency's implementation of the Disaster Recovery Reform Act, or DRRA, and the state of FEMA's readiness heading into the 2019 hurricane season. On October 5th of last year, President Trump signed DRRA into law. Thanks to the bipartisan efforts of Congress, the reforms included in this legislation help to increase FEMA's and the nation's recovery and aim to reduce the complexity of FEMA. Several key our strategic plan is to build a culture of preparedness. A crucial provision in DRRA, Section 1234, allows for the establishment of a National Public Infrastructure Pre-Disaster Hazard Mitigation Grant Program. This program, which FEMA is calling the Building Resilient Infrastructure in Communities, or BRIC, will be funded as a 6% set-aside from disaster grants under the Stafford Act to allow for greater federal investment in mitigation before a disaster. The second goal in FEMA's strategic plan is readying the nation for catastrophic disasters. DRRA included several provisions that aim to develop this capability for FEMA's state, local, tribal, and territorial partners. For example, certain housing programs. Section 1215 also supports FEMA's efforts to develop the capability of state and local governments to manage grant programs by increasing the percentage of management costs that FEMA provides to manage public assistance and hazard mitigation grant programs. DRRA also allows FEMA to consider temporary personnel for permanent full-time appointments after they have served at the agency continuously for 3 years, in the same manner that employees with competitive status are considered. This allows FEMA to retain staff that have proven expertise in emergency management and will strengthen our national incident workforce and overall readiness. The third goal in FEMA's strategic plan is reducing the complexity of FEMA. DRRA Section 1223 directs an interagency study to streamline information collection from disaster assistance applicants and grantees. We look forward to continuing customer service experience. Other sections also direct FEMA to issue guidance on processes or clarify information to our stakeholders to continue to support our goal of reducing the complexity of FEMA. FEMA is committed to full and timely implementation of DRRA. Immediately following its enactment, FEMA established a policy coordination group comprised of accountable executives and other senior leaders from headquarters in the regions to ensure a deliberate and coordinated approach to implementation of each provision. FEMA also established a DRRA project management office to manage and track DRRA implementation across the agency. FEMA has engaged and continues to engage its partners throughout the process of DRRA implementation. This includes updating our intergovernmental partners, many of whom are here today, regularly through calls and conferences with the National Emergency Management Association and the International Association of Emergency Managers. FEMA on implementation. In the 7 months since DRRA enactment, FEMA has made significant progress in implementing these DRRA provisions. FEMA has issued interim policies for increased management costs under Section 1215 for both public assistance and the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program in November 2018. FEMA has provided updated direction to local impact and recent multiple disasters under Section 1232. In March 2019, FEMA began retroactive payments in accordance with Section 1212, which expands available grant funding through the individual assistance programs. Since retroactive payments began, FEMA has provided an additional $54 million post-fire policy to provide guidance on implementing Section 1204, which allows hazard mitigation assistance following a fire management assistance grant without the need for a major disaster declaration. Catastrophic wildfires. And FEMA is focused heavily on stakeholder engagement to inform the development of program guidance for the new BRIC program. For example, FEMA recently held a 2019 Hazard Mitigation Stakeholders Workshop with more than 300 state and local participants. On Monday, we launched a solicitation for public comment through a crowdsourcing website called IdeaScale and announced 4 webinar listening sessions scheduled for June on the topic of BRIC. Thank you to Congress and specifically this committee for your efforts to reform emergency management to meaningfully assist communities in reducing their risks. We look forward to continued collaboration with you throughout the DRA implementation process, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.